Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. I got bad news. This is not going to be a fun video. This is going to be a video dislikes in the like to dish rate. This video is like the video you did not want to see. Okay. So as many of you know, I used to be Myles Turner's biggest hater on YouTube, pretty much. You know, me and Born Ready Jones were kind of in the same boat. Shout out to Born Ready Jones. I don't know what happened to him. Hope dude comes back. He took a break from YouTube. I've been trying to figure out what happened to the guy, but I hope he's doing well. I hope he's okay. I'm led to believe it's health issues or something along the lines of that, because there have been times in the past where he says, you know, I wasn't feeling well, so I didn't do it, and I was like, I hope everything's okay. But I want to talk about this because I didn't like Myles Turner for a while, and then, you know, we traded for Pascal Siakam. He started playing like the guy that I expected him to be 6 or 7 years ago. And he's been a Pacer ever since. The guy has been with us for 9 seasons now, and 2 years ago, we extended him to a 2-year extension worth, I believe, $60 million. And, well, I've been wondering all offseason, as well as some of you guys have, how come we have, you know, been talks about extending Andrew Nembhard? How come there have been talks about extending Obi Toppin and Pascal Siakam and TJ McConnell? How come Myles Turner has not been in the conversation? And then I found my answer on Pacers Reddit. So, about a month ago, somebody on Pacers Reddit posted, "Are there any updates on a potential Myles Turner extension?" And this post reads, "Myles' extension is up at the end of this upcoming season. I've read about the team working towards extending Nemby and TJ, but haven't read anything about the team trying to extend Myles. Is the team going to try to extend him, or is it a thing where both one or both sides want to go to free agency to see what offers would be like? If he doesn't agree to an extension, should the team move him in the season if it doesn't look like he's going to come back?" And then I found my answer in the replies. It has about 12 upvotes, but this sounds pretty legit. Since his last extension contained a renegotiation that raised his salary more than 10%, there is a 3-year waiting period. He'll hit free agency before that passes. He cannot legally be extended. And then somebody else also said he can't be extended. He will be an unrestricted free agent next summer because it's a 2-year extension. It's not a 3-year extension or something along the lines of that. And that had 44 upvotes. So I hate to say it, boys, but it sounds like we are losing Myles Turner. I could not find anything else online about this other than on Reddit, where people read the entire CBA, the new CBA, and found their answer in the CBA negotiations. Here's the thing. This answers a lot of questions. It explains why we signed James Wiseman. And a lot of people were kind of like blindsided by that, I think, a little bit, only because people are like, well, why are we signing James Wiseman? You know, everyone's like, oh, he's a failed project. Right now, the community seems to be really 50-50 on him, but it seems like there's more positive than negative on the James Wiseman signing. I think it's going to be a great signing. That's just my opinion. But this is, as I've said in the past, the Pacers' contingency plan. This is their Myles Turner insurance policy. I will say this. The main question here is, how much does Myles Turner value playing with Tyrese Haliburton and Pascal Siakam? Because Pascal Siakam, part of the reason he wanted to come to Indiana so much is because he thought playing with Myles Turner was like the ideal center for the way that Pascal plays the game. And after, you know, everything that's gone on since Myles Turner has come here, there is a strong possibility that the Pacers trade Myles Turner at the trade deadline this year. And I hate to say that, but with all the guys that we extended this offseason, we now have some money to play with. We're no longer the fucking small market team with a bunch of nobodies on our team. Guys are getting paid, okay? If I had to be willing to trade anybody, it would be obviously probably Obi Toppin. He's making about $13.5 this year in the start of his contract. If you include Myles Turner's salary, about $19.9 million, it works out to about $33.5 million, which is still a nice chunk of change. It'd be nicer if it was in the $40 million range, because then we could maybe get ourselves like a serious guy in a trade. But $33 million is still nothing to slouch at. But the thing is, where the team's record is at the trade deadline this year really depends on if Myles Turner comes back or not, I think. Now, Myles Turner is a player that I think if he decided to sign someplace else, I don't think the fan base would be mad at him for it. You know, he's been here for 9 years. He's extended and come back to the Pacers way more than I think we expected him to. But there are going to, if he hits free agency, there are going to be teams out there offering him some bread to come there. You know, the Milwaukee Bucks are a team that comes to mind if Brook Lopez decides to retire. Brook Lopez is getting up there in age. Another team that comes to mind is the New Orleans Pelicans, being that they lost Jonas Valanciunas and they're relying on rookies at center. Adding Myles Turner to what they got in Zion Williamson, DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, and Brandon Ingram would be a very, very nice fifth piece. You have the Houston Rockets, the Golden State Warriors, the Los Angeles Lakers, even the Miami Heat, as weird as I think it is, because Bam Adebayo, I think, has shown that he can, to an extent, shoot threes, maybe not as efficiently as Myles Turner, but Miami is always a team to look at. The Knicks were a team that is out there. So even though Myles Turner is a guy that I would hesitate to pay more than $30 million a year for. Like if OG Anunoby's not getting, OG Anunoby's a guy that we hesitate to pay $30 million plus for. If we're willing to hesitate to pay OG Anunoby $30 million plus, Myles Turner should be in the same boat. But it's just the idea, like, because OG Anunoby was a guy that we were talking about signing, and everyone was like, oh, like, should we pay him this? Should we pay him that? Like, $30 million was considered a lot for OG Anunoby, and I think he's significantly, like, if he's not significantly better, he's at least on the same tier as Myles Turner, I think, or in the same ballpark. So, with that being said, our record this year is going to determine a lot with Myles Turner. And I will say this, I feel like this team maybe playoff-wise is going to take a step back this year. I don't think they're going to make the Eastern Conference Finals again. I felt like a lot had to go right for us to get there. I do feel like this team's going to make the playoffs. I do think we're maybe a second-round team. But how our record is at the trade deadline will really reflect if Myles Turner decides to come back or not. And which sucks because, like, really it means we have to play our asses off up at least until the trade deadline if we want Myles Turner to, I think, to even consider coming back. Even though Myles Turner has been very, very loyal to Indiana, like I said, it's been well documented at this point that, he's, with Indiana through and through, it seems, at least up until this point. But the thing is, right, Myles Turner, I think, also deserves an opportunity to win. And while I do think we offer that to an extent, there are teams out there that offer a better chance at that than we do. Even the Celtics, man. Actually, no, the Celtics aren't going to fucking have any cap space. Never mind, scratch that. Because once Al Horford retires, they're not going to have any cap space to sign fucking anybody in free agency. So the Celtics are out of the question. Actually, I think the Knicks maybe are too. Just because of all the shit that they've done this offseason. But it's just the idea, Pacers fans, the reason I'm making this video is to please embrace yourself, or embrace yourself. Please brace yourself for the possibility that Myles Turner could get traded this upcoming season at the trade deadline, or could potentially just walk in free agency. Honestly, to be fair, if Myles Turner doesn't sign an extension at the deadline, there is also the possibility of a sign-and-trade. Well, actually, yeah, there is the possibility, I think, of a sign-and-trade. Don't quote me on that, but I think we do retain his rights, maybe. And I don't know how that all works. If somebody is not, if somebody illegally cannot be, do we still own their rights? Like, that's something I'd be very curious to find out about. Like, do we still own Myles Turner's rights? Even if he becomes an I would think so, right? I mean, either way, like, those are like the three scenarios. They trade him at the deadline, they sign him in the offseason, or they work out a sign and trade in the offseason. I don't know how any of this is going to go, but all I'm saying is brace yourself for the possibility that Myles Turner will not be on the team after this upcoming season. and possibly could get traded at the trade deadline depending on what our record is. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.